Do you love to surf, love the ocean, want to turn your passion into a career? Well, here's how to become a surf instructor. Phew! You guys all know how much I love to surf and travel, so one of the first things I did when I decided to hit the road was turn my surfing into a career. I became a surf instructor. Since then I've taught in places like Ecuador, Portugal, Morocco, New Zealand and heaps of other places. So today we're going to run through how you can become a surf instructor, and we'll be covering everything from your surf skill level, where to get your qualification, zero to hero courses, and of course, most importantly, how much you'll be earning as a surf coach. First off, let's run through the question I get asked most about being a surf instructor. How good a surfer do you need to be to pass the course? Well, in actual fact, you don't actually need to be a pro surfer to become a surf instructor, and the skills assessment is actually quite a small part of the overall qualification. In fact, the skills you need to demonstrate is paddling out safely and securely in head-high waves, so no ditching your board, so duck dives and turtle rolls only. You need to be able to catch clean, unbroken waves, both left and right. You need to perform a basic top and bottom turn going both ways as well, and then also kick out of the wave safely at the end. Other than that, you're all good to go. It's actually pretty simple to pass that part of the assessment, and it's only about a 30-minute test to get through that. So what certifications will you need to coach all over the globe? Well, there are two main examining bodies, the ASI and the ISA. Now, both of the level 1 instructors on this will allow you to teach all over the globe. However, the ASI is the preferred certification for anyone looking to coach in Australia. Now, on top of that, you'll also need a Surf Lifesaver Award or a Beach Lifeguard Award, which will give you a well-rounded CV and allow you to coach anywhere in the world. So how long do these courses take? Well, both the Surf Instructor Level 1 and the Surf Lifesaver Award take about 7 days each to complete, and you can do a combined course in about 10 to 14 days. Now, on top of this, you will need to do 20 hours of supervised coaching at an accredited surf school to solidify either your ISA or your ASI. Now, wherever you do your instructor courses, they do have a list of kind of local providers and surf schools that they work with to get your 20 hours, or if you do one of the longer courses, some surf schools offer that as part of the package. So what's actually involved in these courses? Well, as I've mentioned before, your actual surf skill assessment only takes up about 30 to 45 minutes of your overall course. The rest of your surf instructor course will be about teaching correctly, so things like pop technique, health and safety, beach hazards, and as well as being able to coach a range of ages and levels. Your Surf Lifesaver Award, on the other hand, is about CPR and first aid, as well as in-water drills for spinal injuries and things like that. Again, that's a mixture of classroom, written exams, and also beach work. So you definitely want to become a surf coach. Now, how do you go about getting those certifications? Now, in countries all across the world, the ISA and the ASI run courses, about a week or 2 weeks if you want to do the combined course with your Surf Lifesaver. And those run fairly regularly throughout the year. Check out the ASI and ISA sites, type in your location, and they'll give you a list of nearby courses. Now, the other option you can do is one of the Zero to Hero courses. Now, these are trips aimed at people with basic surf skills at the moment, so you might have done a couple of lessons, a couple of surf camps, and you've decided you want to push your skills further. Now, these courses generally last between 10 and 12 weeks and will take you from basic surf skills all the way through to being able to pass the surf instructor exam. Now, if you do decide to go down the Zero to Hero course route, there are options all across the world, including South Africa, Morocco, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, Bali, and Australia. Now, check out the guys from Stoked Surf Adventures. Their links in the description below, as they have the biggest range of surf instructor courses on the internet. Phew! So let's get talking about cash. Now, I'm going to be brutally honest with you guys. If you do want to become a millionaire, becoming a surf instructor is not the way to do it. Pay can vary massively as a surf coach, depending on who you're working for, where you're working, and of course the season. Now, for example, when I worked in Portugal, I was getting paid about €700 a month. but then that did include free accommodation and food as well. So at the end of the month, I was actually able to save quite a bit. On contrast though, when I was working in Ecuador, I was only getting 150 US dollars a month, but I was still getting free accommodation and some meals. So generally speaking, if you do work in places like Europe, America, Australia, you will get a much higher wage. However, more exotic places like Indonesia, South America, or Central America, you will get a much lower rate of pay. That being said, it's good to mix them both up because obviously teaching in South America was incredible. I met some amazing people. So generally what I did was I season bounced between Europe and more exotic places. Save up the money while you're working with a higher pay rate, use that for flight tickets, coach in the off season, and enjoy a bit more in an adventure. So you've got your certification, you've quit your job, you're ready to turn your dream lifestyle into reality. Now, how do you find a job as a surf instructor? Well, surprise, surprise, the easiest place to find work as a surf instructor is the internet. Most importantly, Facebook groups. There are heaps of really good channels out there with jobs at surf camps, whether that's managers, photographers, surf instructors, pretty much anything you can think of surf related. Now, if you want to check those out, I have put the links in the description below, so get started and have a trawl through those. They are updated weekly, daily, there's plenty of jobs going all over the world, so go check them out. Another great place to find surf instructor jobs is from surf instructors themselves. So if you know any people that work in the surf industry, if you've been to a surf camp and you're still friends with your coach on Facebook, or you've done one of the Zero to Hero courses, chat to the surf instructors and see if they know of any surf schools or camps or tours that are looking for surf instructors. I've got a few contacts myself. Montanita Spanish School, where I worked in Ecuador, they're always looking for surf interns. I've included links in the description below, so make sure you go check them out. So you found a surf camp that's looking for instructors. Now, how do you make sure that you get the job? Well, obviously the best way to get in touch with people these days is by email. Now, as with any other job, send your CV over, but don't just send a 2-line email that says, hey, I want to be a surf coach, hire me. Attach your CV, especially if you have no surf coach experience at the moment. Make sure you include any other experience that will help you get that job. So whether you've worked in a bar, any hospitality, you've looked after kids, anything like that that can help stand you out from the crowd is crucial. Personality is really important. At the end of the day, you're going to be working in a surf camp, so if you're really bubbly and friendly, you're more likely to get the job. So when you're typing out your CV and your cover letter, include some of your personality in there. Talk about your epic surf trip to Indo where you scored some amazing waves, or your year in Australia where you surfed in Byron Bay. The more personality you can get across to them, the more likely you are to stand out from the crowd. So here's a quick roundup of everything you need to do to become a surf instructor. First of all, get your surf skills up to scratch. Second of all, get your Surf Lifesaver Award and your Surf Instructor Level 1. Or you could invest in a Zero to Hero course. Then put together an epic CV and cover letter, include heaps of photos and some video footage if you can as well. Then trawl around Facebook groups, the internet, or chat to surf instructors for as many job opportunities as you can. Finally, get emailing. Email, email, email. The more people you apply to, the better chance of you getting a job. So hopefully that's answered all your questions about becoming a surf instructor. If you do have any other questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below and I will reply. And if you want to check out my full written guide to becoming a surf instructor, including all the links and everything else, there's a link in the description below as well. That's it for this week, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you next week. You!